Please welcome Morris Chestnut.
We got to match a little bit, right?
By the way,
Perfect. How you doing?
By the way, you cannot swing a cat without seeing the Watson show.
Yes,
Like
yes.
commercials, trailers,
Thank you.
previews coming up. It's amazing. And Holmes is passed on.
Yes.
Watson is on his own now. And
Yes.
about to matriculate into his new chapter.
Yes, so when the show opens, Sherlock is dead. When the show opens. The show is basically told from Watson's perspective. You know, throughout the years, the iconic mythology of Sherlock Holmes has been told from Sherlock's perspective. Our show is told from the perspective of Watson.
And he's a doctor.
He's a doctor. However, the Sherlock influence, we're doctors and we're also detectives.
Yep.
So we're doctectives.
Doctectives.
Yes, we are doctectives on the show.
But it does like really take like sort of a medical and a procedural and a whodunit and a mystery and an unraveling. Like it is a really smart, I don't know why no one's thought to do this before. It's like they took two favorite genres and put them together, you know, in one thing. As you can see from there, it is a big show.
Yes, it's a huge show, and I loved what you said because it is exactly that. So it's a medical drama and a detective drama all wrapped into one.
How has this not been a thing before? I think this will break a mold because it really is like you're getting everything you want in one place.
Yes.
Okay, Ice Cube's son was here the other day, and I was freaking out on him about Boyz N the Hood and his dad.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I didn't realize it had been 35 years.
It's a long time. I think I was like 2, or that. I look a little older there, but I'm only 37 now. No, it's been 35. It's been a long time. And I just have so many. Look at that. There's so many incredible memories from that show.
I mean, when you guys were making that film, did you feel like, yes, this is something really special?
Well, actually, the opposite for me, because at that time, and most people, the main movies that you saw were huge blockbusters, of course, like Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. And I was on the set, and I was like, wait a minute. I was trying to do the math. I said, okay, this guy, Cuba, who had a holding deal at the time, but the public didn't know who he was. So Cuba was a lead. I was a lead of a movie, and nobody knew who I was. And Ice Cube, people knew who Ice Cube was.
As a musician.
As a musician, but not as an actor or a box office draw.
Yeah.
And so I was like, there's no one's going to see this movie, but I was glad to be a part of it. And all of a sudden, it hit.
Huge hit. I mean, really a phenomenon.
Yeah.
I think that... I feel like the movie was so embraced by pretty much everyone, like critics, a theater-going audience, box office. That was also a piece that made everybody think and talk.
Yes, most definitely.
It was meaningful. It had so much depth and soul.
It's very true, and it's interesting that you say that because for me, at that time, people started to recognize me and notice me, but I would hear from many people that they didn't realize that was happening in South Central. They were like, they didn't know.
It conquered the tough subjects
Yes.
in a way where it opened a door or a window into what people weren't seeing was right there.
Yes, 1,000,000%. And interestingly enough, I did run into a couple of people, at least 2 people. I'm not sure if they were telling me the truth, but one guy from France told me he learned English from watching Boyz N the Hood so many times. Now, I'm not sure if it was the best English, but he said he learned it. 2 people told, one guy from France, and I forgot where the other guy, maybe Germany or something like that. They told me they learned English from watching Boyz N the Hood.
Okay, how long have you been married, Morris, now?
So now it would be 28 years.
28 years?
Yes, 28 years.
28 years!
28 years, yeah.
How did you guys meet, you and your wife?
So we actually met at a nightclub. We did, yeah.
That gives us all hope.
No, yes, yeah, nightclub. She was on pole number 7. No, that's not true. Actually, I was filming back then a movie of the week in Atlanta, and an actor by the name of Tiny Lister. He was a wrestler, played Zeus. He was Debo in the Friday movies. And Tiny at that point in time was like the mayor of Atlanta. Like he knew all the baseball players, all the football players. And so we went into the club. He called me his little brother. Little brother, come here. Little brother, come here. And we're at this club, and he's pointing out, all the women. Yeah, you should try to talk to her. And then I saw Pam, my wife, walk by. I said, well, what about her? And he's like, no, don't worry. She's a tease. Don't worry about her. And I was like, okay. So I said, okay. And then...
You're like, A, I love that about you, and B, challenge accepted.
It was challenge. So I went for that one. I went for her.
Now, you're dating.
Yes.
And, you've been married now for 28 years. What is it that, you and Pam have figured out over time that has kept you together?
I would love to say that we have everything figured out, and I know the answer. The one thing that I can say is being together that long and spending a large amount of time with each other, you do have a tendency to get on each other's nerves, and you get into fights. You get in a lot of disagreements and a lot of arguments. The one thing with she and I is that we never said anything that we couldn't take back. We have respectful disagreements. I mean, sometimes, a lot of people get into knockdown, drag them out, where things just slip out that they can't take back, and the other person never forgets it. We've always been respectful of each other in that regard.
Okay, we have to take a break, but when we come back, I have some nutty questions for Morris Chestnut. Okay, we'll be right back.